In today's extremely harshly lit Sharp Saturday video, we're going to take a look at this DEMKO Knives FreeReign full tang drop point knife with the sexy blue handle. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video where it's Saturday and we take a look at something sharp. Like I said today, that's something sharp is this DEMKO Knives FreeReign drop point knife, full tang. We're gonna take a close look at this in just a minute, but first, as usual, today's words of wisdom from the Bible. Today's words are from Proverbs 26, verse 17. Interfering in someone else's argument is as foolish as yanking a dog's ears. So there we go. Those are just wise words, no matter what book they're from. And one more thing, we got to say a big thank you to my friends at Hog Holsters for sponsoring today's video. Hog Holster stands for Helping Americans Wear Guns, and John at Hog Holster has been doing that for years now. Every Hog Holster is 100% lovingly handcrafted in the USA using 100% made in the USA materials down to the very screws. They use the very excellent Ulti-Clip, and he makes a lot of great holsters. And John's also a really good friend of mine. So thanks to Hog Holsters for sponsoring today's video. If you go to the old sponsorship page down there, there's a bunch of coupon codes and stuff for all kinds of stuff there. You might find Hog Holsters there. Anyway, that link's in the description. So now, without any further rambling, let's take you down to the old stump top, take a close look at this thing, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. You want to? Okay, here is the DEMKO Knives FreeReign drop point. I'm gonna try to not wiggle it around too much, but I want to try to make sure you can see it because this lighting is really, really jacked up here. So this thing has a 5-inch drop point blade of AUS 10A steel. It is a full tang, as you can see here, with a blue rubberized overmolded grip. The overall length is 9 7/8 inches. I didn't weigh it, but it's pretty lightweight. Has again an exposed pommel here. It has a lanyard hole, a little bit of a very pronounced sharpening choil here, and then it has some really, really gentle jimping here on the back of the spine, like so. Kind of a finger guard groove here, a little bit of a catch here on the back on the pommel you can catch your hand with. Fits my hand really well. I wear medium-sized gloves. It's very, very comfortable in my hand. The sheath is a pretty cool sheath, actually. It features a removable nylon belt loop that has both a snap and Velcro to hold it, so doubly secured there. Also has a snap belt loop, a handle loop here. Snaps in very positively, kind of a friction fit on this rubber, and then you can obviously snap it up like so and keep it secured. Something I think is really cool is that it is MOLLE compatible, so you can take this off and you can hook this onto MOLLE with different straps and different things. You can also take this apart to clean it, and a really unique feature of this sheath is the inner part where the knife, actually the blade goes in, this part here, it is made of non-glass filled Kydex, so it won't dull the blade, and then it has this outer frame of glass filled nylon or glass filled Kydex anyways for strength. You can take it off to clean it. It also has a drain hole inside there. This one is made in what I like to call the country of Taiwan. The MSRP on this one's $150. Find it anywhere from around 115 up on the old internet. So there's that. So that's all the specs and details of this thing. But I do think what we ought to do now is start our standardized scientific testing process and see how well she fares. Okay, well, as you know, here at Survival on Purpose, we follow a science-based testing protocol. And one of the internationally standardized tests we like to do is to test the sharpness using what is probably pretty much the best practices standard sharpness test, the redneck sharp test. We got the testing medium out. Let's just see how she does. Oh man, would you just look at that? We test all parts of the blade because we are about science, but oh my gosh. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? Can you see all that hair there? There's a lot of shadows there, but you can certainly see that the lack of hair there. So we're gonna call this one Shavy Yak Sharp. Let's continue with the testing protocol. Okay, so to continue our standardized testing protocol, kind of everything that I like to do with the knife is kind of geared towards building a fire, making fire, because I think that's a good standardized testing process, and that's one of the most important things that you can be able to do, in my opinion, if you're in some sort of a situation where you, by golly, have to use your knife. So we're going to start with, this is kind of damp out here. It's been laying on the ground in the weather, but hopefully on the inside of this we can find some dry wood. So this is similar to what you might find just laying around the woods, a cleanly, perfectly cut piece of split wood, but I digress. So we're going to try it anyway. Let's see how tough this is. I really don't know if this is solid on the inside or rotted, but we're going to bang this knife through there, and it's not really solid. Let me find some better wood. Okay, got us a better piece of wood here. This is extremely dry, cedar. Man, almost like ringing a bell dry, but we're going to give it a shot. See if we can do something with this. I got my too light baton. We'll see if it's enough to get through here. So we'll carve that little bit off there. Carve another little piece off here. And put this aside for future use. Put that aside. Let's see if we can get us some of them there feathers off of this. I bet we can. This is some pretty dry, solid wood. I want some of those tiny, teeny, tiny little, ooh-wee. Okay, wow. That's some pretty good little curls there, if you ask me. We're going to cut that the rest of the way off. And I know even now, even in 2025, there's still people who probably are going to comment, how dare you? I wouldn't dare beat my knife through a piece of wood. But this sucker is, I'm not sure exactly what the thickness of it is at the spine here, but it's certainly over 1/8 of an inch. It's probably 3/16 if I had to guess. It's pretty thick, pretty beefy. Then it has a really nice, tall, what I'm going to call a saber grind. Pretty tall saber grind, almost a full flat. It's closer to flat than it is a saber. So that gives it a lot of strength because of the spine, but it allows you to have a really, really good edge because you got a lot of taper down here, so you don't have to worry about such a steep angle. It gives it good ergonomics to use. It carves really, really well. You can see I've got some nice little curls here. Maybe we'll make a couple more just for fun. Just kind of show you. It's like, it really does carve good. And I'm kind of choking up a little bit like this. I'm not putting my finger on the blade though. I'm just kind of holding my finger out here like that. That really does give me really good control with this knife. Okay, well, that should be good enough for science. Now, I was going to ask you, while I'm kind of doing this stuff here and doing a little bit of rambling, what else you'd like to see on the channel. It's been a while. You know I like fire, and it's been a while since I did a how to build a fire video. I know I have a lot of people watching that may not have seen any of those older videos, but what's really important to me is to be able to build a fire. I think that's one of the most important survival skills, or just manly skills or womanly skills you can have. And it's kind of going, a lot of people have lost that knowledge because we don't really have to build fires so much these days, but most of us don't. We just go to turn the thermostat on and the heat comes on. So, and we turn the stove on and the ice come on the stove, so, or the oven or whatever. But ability to build a fire really is kind of what helped us get out of the old Stone Age. So one of the tools that helps us get out of the Stone Age. So fire is important. So anyway, you can cook with it. You can have light with it. You can heat with it. You can boil your water with it. All kinds of cool stuff. So we got this. Let me see if I can find my my fat wood, which has been in storage now for, gosh, 11 or 12 years. I keep it in storage out here. We're going to see how well it'll do a scraping on the fat wood. It feels like it's a pretty sharp spine, but I always like to test that. So let's do that now. Let's just see what we get. Oh my goodness, I can tell you right now already, she's scraping like somebody's business. So if you didn't catch it, I did a interview at SHOT Show this year with Andrew DEMKO, the kind of the founder and knife designer at DEMKO Knives, and he worked with Cold Steel for a long time and designed a lot of their knives. But so he's a guy that since he was a teenager, his passion has been knives. So that tells in his designs, because his designs, everyone I've tested, they just by golly work. They do what you need them to do. So I like that it has a 90-degree spine, check. So now, I get my second favorite ferro rod out, and I say that, and people ask me, what do you mean? Just so we're clear, my favorite ferro rod is this one here. It is encased by a little, comes with a butane, cylinder of butane, so I like it a lot, but I like this one really more. But anyway, say they're both favorite. So what we're gonna try to do here in maintaining the scientific protocol is to see if we can get some fire going without the fat wood, because you might just have a really deprived life and not have fat wood, lighter lot, whatever you want to call it. But this is so we're gonna try it with just a regular old wood. Oh man, she's trying too. And she took. Look at her go, baby. Man, that's so good. So while we're at it, we should go ahead and, for comparison, try the fat wood. See how hard it is to get going. Just another reason I love me some fat wood. So there we go. What do you think we should do now? Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. Alrighty, well, as you may have seen from our previous Sharp Saturday videos, in order to keep up our rigorous scientific standards, we maintain a state-of-the-art cutting-edge knife testing facility here at our worldwide headquarters. And one of the tests we like to do with all fixed blade knives is to test the aerodynamic balance using the balance, orientation, and rotation device. I think we should do that, don't you? Let's do it. And by the way, proper scientific methodology is critical. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. I didn't commit to that one. Whoop. Whoop. Once more. Whoop. One more time, just for fun. Alrighty, well, we're going to call this one balanced. So just to recap, kind of the results of our standardized scientific testing process. Redneck sharp test, 100% yak shaving sharp. Carving, pretty stinking good. Sharp spine, strikes a ferro rod, scrapes fat wood. Absolutely. Batons well. Yep. How about balanced? I'd say this thing is sublimely balanced. So altogether, a really high score for this knife on the scientific process testing. And just on general feel and general usability and general design, I really like this knife. It feels really good in my hand. It's got this rubbery overmolded full tang overmold, feels good. It's got just the ergonomics are really good in this thing. I like the little finger groove here. I like the little finger notch here, kind of. I like that it's got a sharpening choil that lets you get a really good edge all the way back. And it's just a very useful design. The point has a drop point, but the point is almost in line with the center, which is another really good attribute for a useful knife. And it's got that kind of, I guess you would call it a kind of an indescribable quality. If it works, it feels good in your hand. I think this is an absolute really good design and a really good knife. It's very well made. It came from the factory yak shaving sharp, like I said. I know I'm just talking about how great it is, and hadn't come up with anything that I don't like about it. And because you know what, there literally is nothing I don't like about this knife. Look, I like a lot of knives. This is one of them. It's really well made. I like the grind on it is great. I like it. I just plain stinking like it. So It's really good value and a good knife. That's the DEMKO FreeReign. This one is the drop point. They've also got a Tonto we'll be taking a look at in a different video down the road sometime. But if you're looking for a really high quality, good value knife that just by golly gets it all done, does everything it needs to do, and does it with style, the FreeReign from DEMKO Knives could be a really, really good choice in my humble opinion. So that's it. Thanks to the folks at DEMKO Knives for sending me this so I could test it and show it to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.